Hey, Fi fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, it's good to see you here in New York. How are you?
It's great to see you, Michelle. How are you?
First of all, you always do that cheesy, super big smile every time I introduce you. Battle of the turtlenecks today between you and Jake.
Me and Jake, yeah, he got the memo.
Did you guys?
He turned up earlier. He's promoter Paul, he says today.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been good. I mean, look, you can see the media turnout today.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say they were all here for me, but some of them here for Jake Paul. And Monday we'll be in London for another press conference. It'll be a massive turnout, and that's just extra attention, extra media that he's bringing to this fight, which is a blessing. And that's why it's going to be not just a historic fight, a monster fight here at the Garden.
Right. I spoke to everybody about asked the same question, but I'm going to ask you it anyways. There's been talks for a while now, as you know, between Amanda and Katie. We have not been able to get it over the line. It's always something. But this seemed to be quite seamless. What was the difference?
The difference was the growth of women's boxing, the interest in the fight, the revenue that it can attract. The reason that the fight didn't happen a couple of years ago is because I think Amanda and Jordan felt that there wasn't enough money in the fight, but that's the money that was in the fight. You know, sometimes fighters say it's worth more, but if that's what's generated, it's not really, is it? Do you know what I mean? And I think what Jake has done through pushing Amanda on Showtime pay-per-view, giving her that platform, increasing her value, but also effectively we're paying for Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? Right. You know, when DAZN are buying this fight, they're paying for Katie Taylor against Serrano and, you know, Matchroom and everything, but they're also paying for Jake Paul's involvement, ultimately, and that's translated into Amanda Serrano. So he's done a great job for her. Both girls can walk away with a massive payday, but it's not...
Is it a guarantee 7 figures?
Yeah, but it's more than that. It's like, female boxing is a bit different to men's boxing. There's a lot more ego in men's boxing. Like, they're genuinely, with the women, they want legacy. They want to fight the best. They want these historic moments. And I'm not saying they would have done it for less, but money matters less, I believe, to the female fighters. But it didn't matter in this case because they've both done extremely well, and Jake's done a great job.
You guys have a stacked undercard as well. It's just stacking up.
Just 2 fights announced so far. Liam Smith against Jesse Vargas, which is a main event fight. We're supposed to headline in Phoenix this weekend. Liam's over the moon, and so's Jesse. I mean, that also shows you the size of the fight. Probably a couple of years ago, you know the truth, a male fighter in a big fight like that might have gone, why am I on the undercard of it? But they're looking at it going, wow, that's a massive fight. And it's MSG. Every fighter wants to fight MSG. So Liam Smith against Jesse Vargas, huge fight. Cruz DAZN against Cederroos for the undisputed super middleweight world championship, and loads more to be added. So really big card incoming.
Okay. So I flew all the way from Las Vegas on a red eye to make sure that I got this interview. Do you get what I'm saying? I swear to God. I'm flying.
You've done well, because Coogan's been chasing me for the interview today. And this is, I mean, I'm like, we had a purse bid, right? And I lost the purse bid, so is what it is. It's happened before. But then I'm like getting tweets going, why aren't you talking about the fight? It's like, it's not my fight. I lost the purse bid. What do you want me to say? Do you know what I mean? So I'm here to answer any questions, and I'm sure you've got loads. But like, it's funny how I don't read social as much as I used to. I was just going through why the silence? It's like, it's the weekend. I've not got a show. I'm just chilling out. Like, what do you want me to say?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. Were you shocked? That was massive offers from both of you.
If you would have watched my interviews from before the purse bid, it's pretty straightforward what happens. If you've got 80% of the pot, you do a deal with your fighter, the lion's share, for how much he's going to get, and then what you're bidding ultimately doesn't matter. Does that make sense to you? So say that Tyson Fury took $25 million. Okay. The bids are actually the same. But on an actual bid, Tyson Fury will get $34 million. He ain't getting $34 million because they'd already done a deal. So it doesn't, it's still big money, massive money. What we bid's big money. But the actual bid is not the actual bid. Unless they want to tell me it is, and then, that can go down in a record. But this is not, by the way, that's not illegal, unusual, anything. It's just what you do. I've done it before myself. You don't want to lose control of a fight. So you say to your fighter, look, we can keep control of the fight. Are you happy with this purse? And whatever you bid over and above that, Dillian only gets 20%. Also, it's not really being reported. It's not 80-20.
Okay.
Right? There's 10% to the winner of this fight. And then it's 80-20 for the other 90%.
Okay.
So there's a floating $4.1 million for the winner. So if Dillian Whyte wins, he gets 12 million,
Right.
for example.
Right.
So, yeah.
There was mention that there was step-aside money for AJ. You made a comment and said ultimately Tyson Fury wouldn't fight Alexander Usyk straight away.
Correct.
He wanted an interim fight, which broke down the whole system. But when Tyson posted something on his Instagram, he posted it insinuating that whoever was at fault was because of greed, because he put greed. So he's not making it appear as though it was his fault. So
Well, the deal that we were offered was not that Tyson Fury has an interim fight. I mean, we don't trust Tyson Fury to even turn up to a fight, let alone be part of this 2-fight, 3-fight process. And when we heard that he wouldn't fight Alexander Usyk, you can check with Igis Klimas. He said the same thing online. To be fair to Frank Warren admitted that Fury wouldn't fight Usyk straight away. He wanted a warm-up fight. I don't know why. He's just boxed Deontay Wilder. But anyway. And then the deal for us was a non-starter. I couldn't get AJ to step aside. I went back. We started renegotiating the deal, the money, everything, because we weren't...
Was there ever a number in AJ's mind that if he had that, he would have stepped aside?
No, he said to me that he don't want to step aside.
Okay.
So, and when he found out that Fury wanted an interim fight on March 26th in Manchester, he definitely didn't want to step aside. So I went back. The only way I could have gone back to him was on the money. So I went back, we started renegotiating. There was never a deal in place. We were asking, one, he wouldn't step aside. So two, I went back. But the fact is, no one really asks. The thing that aggravates me is, you've got these promoters who, some people watch interviews back, then they do it again, then they want to get it right. And it's like, I'm the only one, as you can testify, that ever does these raw. I answer every question you want. You guys always ask me the toughest questions, but you never ask them the questions. Not you particularly, but I watch it and it's like, just say to Tyson Fury or Frank Warren, was Tyson Fury prepared to fight Alexander Usyk next? The answer's no. But he's out there on Instagram going, oh, Usyk, you bum, I'll smash you, blah, blah, blah. But you wouldn't fight him. And when that happened, there was no deal. Same with Dillian Whyte. Exactly the same. Dillian Whyte, we was in talks for him to step aside or do something with a WBC title. Then all of a sudden, this other interim fight pops up, like a 10-round non-title. Why? And then the whole thing become, well, that's the deal that we've been working towards is actually no longer the deal. So let's talk about how this deal's going to work now. So they use that as a smokescreen. So they asked for more money. Yeah, because the deal was completely different to the one that was proposed.
So when are we getting the announcement with AJ and Usyk? I mean, there was mention of the fight possibly being in April. Is that too soon now?
It's likely it'll be in May.
Okay.
Obviously, we wait.
Late May, because obviously Canelo fights
maybe
early.
Canelo go May 6th or May 7th, whatever that weekend is, and we'll see what happens with him. But I've spoken to Alex Krasik already. They're frustrated because they don't have the mouth I have to come back and answer everybody. But you see, look at Igis's comments, look at Alex's comments. They know Fury refused to fight Usyk next, and therefore there was no conversation. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, oh no, he asked for more money. No. The original deal that was proposed was no longer available because you wouldn't fight Usyk. But anyway, it's over now. They had the purse bid, and then we'll see if that fight happens.
So Fury Whyte.
Yeah.
When should we expect the like?
It's not my show. I mean, you see reports again.
But you're still.
Yeah, but I'm not
working the
promoting.
side of
But
Whyte.
I have no involvement right now as we stand after speaking to Dillian this morning. So just to let everybody know how it works, you make the purse bid. Within 10 days, you have to deposit 10%. Right? Now, actually, most governing bodies, it's a shame they didn't do this, you have to deposit the money when you bid. Right? So now they've got 10 days to deposit 10%, £4.1 million dollars. They haven't done that yet. Okay? So we wait on that. Number two, Keith Idek put a story out last night saying, whoa, Dillian Whyte's got till Feb 21st to sign the contract, otherwise... No, both fighters have got to... Whoa, jeez.
Good?
Yeah, that's better, isn't it? That's all right, isn't it?
That's actually not bad.
Yeah. I think we should keep that rolling.
Whatever you do, Ed, do not
look,
step
it'd be
back.
great for the
Oh my God!
Whoa, great for the views.
You would literally fall off the stage.
Imagine the views,
Just
though.
That's a perfect indicator. Do not move.
Okay. So let me go back. So
Okay.
you make the bid.
Yep.
Okay. Most governing bodies, you have to deposit the 10% on the bid. Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't. So now they've got 10 days to deposit or 7 days, I think, or 10 days, I think it is, to deposit 10%, $4.1 million. They haven't done that yet. Okay, that's the first step. Keith Idec came out and said, Fury's White's, he hasn't signed a contract yet. We haven't had a contract. The winner of the bid has to send you a contract to sign, and you have to sign it before a certain date, which is February 21st, I think. Both fighters. So right now, we await for the deposit to be paid and to actually get a contract. So that hasn't happened. It's not like, Dillian's not taking the fight. This is just the process that we're going through. So, of course, there's other stuff going on with the WBC. We don't expect that to affect the fight happening. But there is a process that, like all these, this is why I like doing these interviews, to just let you know the process that takes place. So we wait for the contract.
Can we anticipate that it's going to be March, April, May?
All we've heard, till we get a contract with a date,
right?
We don't know. And and the other thing, I think within 14 days or 10 days, you have to let the WBC know the venue and the date. Okay? So when we know that, I've heard April 23rd at Wembley or at Millennium Stadium. But firstly, they've got to pay the 10% and they've got to actually give us a contract to sign, which they haven't done yet. So, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury don't take this fight. Me personally. Right? But we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, because I want Dillian to get this fight.
You really think that?
Yeah. Michelle, the track record, right? I mean, look at the track record of Tyson Fury putting out. I don't think he has a British licence, a fight licence. I mean, I don't know. But this is why, when we talk about AJ stepping aside, we would ultimately have to put our trust in Tyson Fury fighting Usyk, and if he wins, keeping his word to fighting Anthony Joshua. That's why, when all of a sudden there was a fight in March, then you've got to hope he keeps his word to fight Usyk in June, which is impossible, and then he keeps his word to fight AJ in December. Come on. Like, I'm trying to tell AJ this. He's looking at me going, you trust him to do that? I'm saying, I have to be honest, no, but this is where we're at. So, I just hope that people, when they interview Tyson Fury, just say to him, were you prepared? Like, you slag off AJ, who took on Usyk as his mandatory, and now takes him on again straight away in a rematch. You slag these guys off, yet you're not prepared to fight him. You want to warm up after you just went 10 rounds with Deontay Wilder. Why do you want to warm up? Because he knows how good Alexander Usyk is. That's why. Fury's not an idiot. He knows he's boxing. But that's why, you create smoke. Oh, great. I just want people to ask him and say, tell the truth, because, like when you donated all your money to the homeless, that was a lovely touch as well. That, just ask him.
Okay. I'll ask him.
Good.
Yeah. Whenever I see him. Could
Press
be.
conference.
Yeah, I mean, depending on when it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I plan to fly over February 15th, but we'll see.
Good.
Anyways, will this be the first event that you and Frank Warren are going to have to sit kind of?
I don't know. I have to be invited, won't I? I mean, the last one, Canelo Alvarez, I was kind of blocked by Showtime and PBC. They didn't want me anywhere, so we'll have to see.
Oh.
I'd love to be up there. I'd love to be cheering Dillian on.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, let me go down this list, yeah, because I don't want to. I feel like we've covered it all.
Okay, see you later.
I'm just kidding.
No.
No, but oh my God, I just got a brain fart. That's what happens when you fly overnight and get 2 hours.
Canelo.
Bob Arum. I apologize.
Bob Arum,
The Bob Arum situation.
What situation?
The comments that he made
about
in the
women.
video. Right. Playing devil's advocate here, not justifying anything that was said. But you wouldn't really anticipate him to actually agree that you have a better card on April 30th, would you? Like, you wouldn't.
It's nothing. You can't.
Because I would just imagine you wouldn't be promoting and upping your card.
Michelle, there is such a strong movement and feeling right now to empower female athletes and females in general, but particularly female athletes in terms of equality, giving them opportunities for networks and organisations to proactively be giving them opportunities, that to be speaking on behalf of a powerhouse like ESPN, that basically they're not interested in women's boxing. But the problem is with Bob, he doesn't give a fuck. Right? He will tell you exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And in a way, you have to respect that, right? But the problem is, it's so prehistoric, but this is not Frank Warren. doesn't have a female fight. If he does, I'm sorry, check it out. Maybe he has one. There are never any female fights on BT, on Frank Warren shows. Why? He doesn't believe in it. I don't think, it's only because my dad has been around Katie and people like that. He was the same. I honestly think, when I went and started doing female boxing, I think he would have gone, I'm not sure about this. Do you know what I mean? Bob Arum, he don't like female boxing. Yes, he signed Michaela Meyer because he thought it was, but he's not pushing her. He's just basically said there's no interest in women's boxing. He's got a unified world champion there that's just headlined in a great fight against Hamadouche. So what those comments do is allow Jake to, like, Jake would have seen that and gone, oh yeah. But now it snowballs, like ESPN are now probably unintentionally counter-programming the biggest female fight of all time with Stevenson against Valdez. Do you know what I mean? So they're under pressure now to actually either not do it on that day or move it, and we should move it like an hour either side or something like that. And you saw Shakur's, that was very smart of Shakur, whether that was, but that's come from the pressure of people going, like, because I don't know if you feel it yet, but for this fight, there's a really good feeling of people coming together going, this is actually good. Do you know what I mean? This is good for boxing. They deserve this. This is actually going to be
undisputed female fights.
Yeah, but they deserve this moment. So those who want to, limit the audience, or those who want to counter programming, it's not really I don't think it's going to sit very well. And I think the problem is with Jake Paul is Jake's not going to let it go. Do you know what I mean? Like he's up here on this platform today on his YouTube channel with millions of people watching, criticising Bob Arum in his comments. So it's like Dana White, with a diss track and stuff like that. I mean, that's why I want to keep on the good side of Jake Paul, because I don't want any of those diss tracks or anything like that. But
imagine that.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
But it's like playground stuff.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But that's the I say they're kids, but like that's it don't end with a fuck off, mate, and maybe it goes on and on and on. Right. And he makes this video and he makes this meme. I mean, I had it when I'd done Logan Paul against KSI. Presser. Yeah, well, your mum's this. What, sorry? Yeah, well, your mum said this. I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Whoa.
Careful now.
Yeah,
Look at your literally heel was just at the edge.
It's all right.
You're making me nervous.
I like Jake. I think he's a character.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's good for the sport. I don't care. Yeah. People are going to slate me for that. I actually get people who unsubscribe.
We just did a huddle, and he was there, and he started going, I think within 3 years, I will beat Canelo, and I'm like, but he's like, I don't know. I think part of him is like playing up a little bit, and part of him actually, but all fighters believe that they can. And they just come to me after, and they went, how far do you think Jake is from a Canelo? I'm like, are you fucking mad? Like, he's,
his tactics are working.
They are.
They are.
Good luck
Can't
to
hate
him.
on that.
Too many people talk about, it's not fair that Jake Paul just comes into the sport and starts getting these big fights. Mate, he's built that right. Through what he's built and his platform, he's built the right to do whatever he wants. And too many fighters say, well, I've been in the gym 15 years grinding. Well, you weren't good enough and you didn't build the following. That's why you didn't get the opportunities he got. Probably not fair, but life.
I respect that he also gives a part of his purse to his undercard.
Yeah. And he's done a great job for Amanda. Look, he's also built Montana Love. We nicked him. Liam Para, we nicked him as well. So, but I like him, the Kisa.
Yeah.
Look, they're not everyone's cup of tea. And I think if you're an old school boxing promoter, you couldn't think of anything worse than Jake Paul. I mean, can you imagine Arum having to sit up and co-promote with Jake Paul? He don't even like me. I'm 42.
That's bound to happen. That's bound to happen at some point. Yeah.
So.
All right, Ed. See, we've moved also. I like the suit though.
It's green
the color.
for Irish.
Yeah. Okay. Looks good. Makes your eyes pop.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for your time. I appreciate it as always. Anything else you'd like to tell me? Any little nuggets you'd like to drop?
So we have Quadras against Jesse Bam Rodriguez at the weekend, which is just a wild one. Next week, really big fight, Danny Jacobs against John Ryder in London. This Monday coming, we're in London for the Taylor Serrano London press conference. And then coming up, we've got obviously a Coley at the O2 with Galal Yafai and others, Fabio Wardley, etc. And then we've got March 5th, Chocolatito against Julio Cesar Martinez, which will be a lunacy. And then the 12th, massive one with Conlon against Wood. And then the 19th, we've got Michael Mickinson fighting Virgil Ortiz. And the week after, we've got Warrington.
Where's that going to end up?
It's in Dallas, I believe. Yeah, I think they're talking about that. And then March 26th, we've got Kiko against Josh Warrington. And then we're about to announce April 16 and obviously April 30 if he's here. And then we'll in due course, get the AJ announcement out.
Right.
Early, mid-May, probably, something like that.
Okay. Well, I look forward to being at most of those events. Can't be at all of them.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I appreciate your appreciation.
Okay. Oh, did you know that my 10-year anniversary was
10 year?
last month?
What, of Behind the Gloves?
Well, of me being in boxing, me
Really?
doing my little interviews.
And I think I've done 12 years, so we must have popped on the scene at the same kind of time.
yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, good.
Still motivated?
Yeah.
Still in love with the sport?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be doing it this long if I didn't. But it's work at the end of the day, isn't it? It's a lot of work, a lot of no sleep,
Yeah.
hardly a personal life. It's
Yeah.
challenging.
I think that occurs in all levels of boxing, no
Yeah.
matter what you do. I would like to say well done to Michelle Phelps. Behind the Gloves, like and subscribe and follow and keep supporting Michelle. Great service to the industry of boxing. Without outlets like this, we wouldn't get the first-class news into our systems that we need so badly.
The raw footage.
The raw footage. Well done, Michelle.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ed. Enjoy New York City.
Thank you.
You're going to leave
Whoa,
today?
that was a joke,
Oh,
by the way.
shut up.
I'm leaving today. I'm going to,
Arizona?
Phoenix in
Okay.
a couple of hours.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you in London then.
I look forward to it then.
Okay. You're so sarcastic. I hate it. All right. Bye, Fight fans.
Bye, fans.
Hey, Fight fans. It's Michelle Joy Phelps. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button below so that you can receive an alert every time we upload a new video.